next story is written by Diana LaBrecque, who's right over here. There's Diana, make some noise. It's called How Aaron Tveit Helped Me Freeze My Eggs, and it's read by Alexandra Smith. Welcome Alexandra to the stage.
Between December 2017 and July 2018, 3 things happened. I turned 33, I researched egg freezing, and I decided to freeze my eggs. I didn't know who Aaron Tveit was. This story would still be quite interesting without involving Aaron Tveit, but what journey starring a single 30-something-year-old female isn't immediately amplified by adding in a dashing 6-foot, dirty blonde, blue-eyed Broadway boy wonder co-star? Exactly. My education of IVF and Aaron commenced at the same time. I saw the pre-Broadway opening of Moulin Rouge the musical the night I stopped taking my birth control pill for the first time in 15 years. I was utterly impressed by the stage design, choreography, and set list, but my attention was locked on Aaron's bohemian loner boy stage presence and seamlessly raw stage singing talent. So to say my hormone levels changed the night I discovered who Aaron Tveit was is an understatement. Watching YouTube interviews of Aaron proved to be an easy distraction from YouTube tutorials of hormone injections. By the time I had a grasp of his 15-year-long on-off-Broadway Big Little Screen career, I had successfully given myself hormone shots in the stomach. For most, pushing a needle into your own skin falls into the flight category of flight or fight, so I did what every ABC family-loving single gal does. I had a theme song to get me through it. I put Aaron's cover of Rent's One Song Glory on repeat each night. Whether it took me 5 minutes or 50 to get through the injections, that song was on loop. If you think I choreographed a dance to it by the 3rd night, you'd be right. Now the song is a bit of a downer. It's about one guy's need to hold on to his golden era and find something inspiring that will last forever as his loved ones die from AIDS. Sad plot lines aside, I thoroughly enjoyed belting out that rock anthem each night. It reminded me that what I was doing was part of something bigger. I was doing it for my future self. I presently didn't have a family plan or a non-family plan, but one day I will. And this was my biggest reason for diving into the whole cryopreservation process, to prepare for the future I may want someday. Or, my fantastical side reasons, in case Richard Branson or Elon Musk needs help starting a new civilization on Mars, I have something to contribute. Per doctor's orders, during week 2, my nightly hormone injections tripled, and I immersed myself in Tveit's 2013 through 2015 TV series Graceland. The show followed a hodgepodge of undercover agents living together in SoCal, and I had been warned that the show's 3rd season and week 2 of hormone injections would become equally bad. During those very stir-crazy nights where I was required to take care of myself and not exercise or drink and just relax, I enjoyed having a partner in crime in my living room. Much like Aaron playing a newbie double FBI agent tasked with investigating coworkers by constantly going undercover alongside drug criminals and attempting to maintain sanity, I was simultaneously in control and out of control of my body. Like me, I'm sure he shouted into the mirror a few times an hour, "I can't do this!" We were 2 peas in a pod during those 25 episodes. Overall, I felt empowered with the huge decision I was in the middle of, but the reality of the task was catching up with me. My ovaries were starting to feel larger than Aaron's vocal range, and I had a constant, unwelcome, sweaty dewiness to my skin. I was tired of the routine that I signed up for. I was anxious from not knowing how many more days were in my custom cycle, and was overwhelmingly sad and how alone I felt. I felt angry that this would never be a men's issue. I felt angry knowing that I would have extensive costs back in my savings account if health insurance covered this under women's health. I missed being able to move my body any way I wanted. I hated the feeling like I was carrying around a 50-pound sandbag in my lower stomach. Like Aaron's character living in a house full of strangers, not knowing what to expect the next moment, but still needing to appear somewhat next to normal, I too was cramping both physically and emotionally. Though finding a releasing position in bed at night was challenging, having a mental montage of Aaron running on the beach in Cali didn't hurt. I wasn't shy in voicing my frustrations to the nursing team that was monitoring me. In 1 week, I had 4 vaginal ultrasounds and 5 blood tests. As I signed in during those early morning pre-work appointments, I mumbled disgruntledly, "I'm tired of coming here." And they nodded politely and said they've heard that before. I've been going to the gynecologist since I was 17, and like all women, I hated it. I don't know why they make an already highly awkward interaction even more reeling by including a paper Afghan and always freezing cold metal stirrups. It wasn't until my first ultrasound during my egg cycle that I thought to ask if I could use my phone during the checkup. So at some point in my youth, I'd assumed that the gyno exam room had the same rules as airplanes. You put your belongings under your seat, you ask the attendant for help, and there's no use of electronics. Cosmo never mentioned anything different, and though my friends and I talked about plenty of below-the-waist extracurriculars, where our cell phones were when we got tested for HPV never came up. Seconds after getting greenlit on my device use, the crumpling sound of my extra-large paper skirt and the technician probing left to right all became an afterthought. I had Aaron and Hulu in the dimly lit room with me. And when asked from below if I was doing okay, I gave an enthusiastic yes. As the injection days reached double digits, feeling comfortable was a foreign concept. To avoid more meltdowns, I desperately tried to find ways to turn my brain off. It was fitting that I found Aaron's 2016 political sci-fi dramedy, Brain Dead. He plays a DC Republican staffer who battles both an alien invasion and his love for a quirky Democrat. And maybe it was because I had 4 different kinds of heavy hormones tangoing in my body, but I was surprised how turned on I was by today's unfortunately restricted CBS standards and practices sex scenes. For reference, they included a few bare shoulders and ankles and a heavy PG plot-related dialogue. Though my body felt like it was weighted down by cement, I started to feel that the end was near, and the heaviness in my mind began to lift. I rationalized that if I could get through another few days of needles, I too could battle aliens. The night before the extraction surgery, I watched my favorite blonde's 2016 straight-to-streaming indie film, Better Off Singing. The title and my current solo state were oddly comforting as I sat in the same sweatpants from the weeks prior. And I wondered what the last 3 weeks would have been like with a real partner instead of fictionalized ones. Right now, I was better off single, planning for the future that I want. And I was better off bitching to a nursing staff, complaining to strangers on the internet, and belting Broadway songs alone in my apartment. I was better off trying to feel comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, even though at times I was acting. After 20 days of this gig, I could almost see the outline of the big picture, even though the small one seemed smaller than Aaron's producer's film budget. That night, right on cue, my mother called to remind me to wear not just comfortable clothes the following day, but clean, comfortable clothes and wash my hair. She asked me what I had for dinner to test my grocery shopping status, and as I was describing the items in my cupboards and fridge, I was forced to hit pause on Aaron's big screen performance. Promptly after hanging up, I unreluctantly started the flick from the beginning, and I stayed up past the time my mother told me to go to bed. I may be single, but I am still an independent woman. Post-surgery, I clicked binge watch on season 3 of Gossip Girl, which included a 10-story arc of our Broadway baby. He doesn't enter stage right until the middle of the season, so I had buffer time to watch and take a post-anesthesia nap and then repeat before he cameoed. The following day, with a heating pad on high and extra strength Tylenol nearby, I watched the sleepy baseball hit sleeper Undrafted, which showcases, spoiler alert, Aaron's character dealing with not getting drafted. I kept reminding my brain that I was now on the other side of this, and like his character, I was coming to terms with what my new future meant. Most people walked or punted to move forward. I did the hard thing. In the last few weeks, I turned into my own cheerleader. I swung at the unknown. I had ups and downs, sideways, emotional, physical, and side effects, but no foreseeable end. And in short, it sucked. A lot. After, it felt like an end credit scene where the beginning gets crossed out for the end. And for that, I give myself an imaginary shiny gold award. My body would need almost another 2 weeks to normalize, but my mind was light, airy, and lined with anticipation. Like fans waiting for Aaron Tveit at the stage door alley just after curtain call.
Keep it going for Alexandra Smith. That's right. That was How Aaron Tveit Helped Me Freeze My Eggs, written by Diana